and playing a game. Yeah. What has she got to lose? Absolutely nothing. It's a win-win situation for her.
Is she one of those players with the white pieces there always the same opening, or can we expect anything?
No, she plays quite a few different openings, and one thing though is that she is quite aggressive.
Cool.
Yeah, and I've always viewed her as much more dangerous with white than with black. So, okay, we do see a King's Pawn opening, a Sicilian defense. White's knight comes out, where we see an open Sicilian. Magnus, he's been relying on the Sicilian a lot more in the last few years. And okay, it's going to transpose to one of my favourite openings, the C3 Sicilian, the Alapin variation. And white just wants to build a pawn centre. Magnus now offering a trade in the centre. We do see some very quick moves. I'm surprised by that last one by Magnus. Against me in Blitz, he always recaptured there with the queen in the centre, bringing his queen out early. But no, this one's very solid by black.
Seems he tries to avoid kind of possible draw options, and now the game moved to Tarrasch defense in French opening, kind of replacement, and black is gonna suffer a little bit with isolated pawn, but of course Magnus is hoping to get the direct initiative and delivering the pieces to the center. So let's see how it's going.
Yep, this variation regarded as very, very solid for black, but from my experience, as you mentioned, Yevgeny, often black tries to get active, but it can be hard if white just stays solid, just blocks in the center, and we might just see Magnus try to strategically outplay Kosteniuk later in the game. Okay, it's surprising that he's thinking right now. Black's knight normally comes out in front of the black king. Black's king needs to run away to safety as quickly as possible. There is an open line towards that king, so okay.
Yeah, he might consider some like captures on d4 first and then knight g7, but I think he's already in a way to surprise Kosteniuk, and he wants to have some fresh position.
Okay. The risk is if you try and surprise your opponent, you can surprise yourself in a position like this where it's been played thousands and thousands of times, and usually black's plans are quite well known. If Magnus wants to maybe continue surprising her and freestyle a bit, he will be taking some risks in the process. I'm expecting to see black's knight move, the black knight that hasn't left his start square yet. And then, yeah, we'll see how familiar Kosteniuk is with the plans. I'm very surprised. I think Kosteniuk will be looking at this position, especially now Magnus is still thinking, and she'll be feeling a bit more confident.
Yeah, I have to say maybe it was Magnus who was surprised, with her choice of playing.
She plays this all the time.
Plays it all the time,
very
okay.
regularly. The C3 Sicilian, I remember I played her in 2003
Okay.
in a challenge match with giant.
You remember you played her in 2003?
Yes, we were playing with giant chess pieces. That's
seems. Let's call it like this. We will see if Magnus is back or not.
All right. Well, we have to applaud Alexandra. Of course, she's the lowest ranked player in the tournament, but taking on the challenge, it must be a little bit scary with these top grandmasters.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, because at the back of your mind, if you're so much lower rated than everyone else, then you do think, how am I going to actually cope with being hard work on the board and being the moving target for everyone to try to catch? But then again, it's a lesson.
Yeah.
This is the thing, and so all credit for her. She's here and she's fighting as hard as she can. And I think this was an unfortunate game. I think she got a bit confused out in the opening and made some inaccuracies. But Magnus, perfect. Very logical chess. He's making it look easy.
And is it still easy for Magnus, or can stuff still happen in this game?
Yeah, it feels like he's done the hard work. White's king is just too much of a target. Black's queen is just too active. You can never let an opponent's queen that near your king and hope to survive. So I think Magnus has done the hard work. A little bit of calculation maybe still needed, but he's got plenty of time on the clocks, more than 7 minutes. And even suffering with COVID, as we mentioned, I think Magnus is going to finish off this game pretty smoothly. It's just hard to find a move here for White, which doesn't allow checkmate or doesn't allow huge material losses. So Magnus just putting his head in his hands, but he's got this game wrapped up. And okay, Kosteniuk does try and grab the pawn, as we showed. Black gives a check, and Black did capture a pawn, and just there's an unstoppable threat in the position. Pretty much, Rook takes bishop. Next move, Black's rook taking the white bishop with check will actually unleash a discovered attack. Against White's queen as well. The queens, they're on the same diagonal. White's queen, at the very least, is going to fall.
And there is no square for the king to escape from the discovered check. Because in case of king d2, let's say pinning the black's queen back, but then bishop takes e3, not rook this time.
Yeah, bishop takes.
Rook also wins, but
yeah.
anyway.
I think everything wins here in this position for Magnus. White's bishop is simply falling on the next move. Black will capture it with his bishop or rook, and that's just game over. And okay, Kosteniuk does run away with her king. Again, plenty of winning moves here, but just okay. I was going to say either bishop takes bishop or a check first, and this is very effective. Magnus wins the white bishop, and okay, Kosteniuk resigns. A bishop down in a hopeless position.
All right. That is a very nice win for Magnus Carlsen in